I've had this foundation sat in my collection for a little while and I still haven't done anything with it yet. So that is what I'm going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to be testing out the Maybelline Super Stay, what is this called? Lumi-Matte Foundation. Did I pick the right shade for me? We're going to find out. And yes, I did have my hair dyed. I am slightly darker than I was, and we're not going to talk about the staining that is on my nails. So I will link this foundation down below if you are interested in picking it up. I generally like Maybelline foundations. I do have dry skin usually. I've got pores that are quite visible around my nose area and I've got some fine lines. I am 35 and I don't live in a humid place. I live in the UK. So that is just a bit about me in case you didn't know. I'm going to give this a good shake because like I say, it's been sat not doing anything for a while and not being tested. Now I do usually like a foundation that is matte. So because this is like a Lumi-Matte foundation, I thought it'd be a good one to test. So considering that I have dry skin, I still do like to have sort of a matte base without looking dry and crusty. And my favourite go-to foundation is usually the NARS Soft Matte. So that is just my preference. That's how I like my foundation to be. So we're going to see what this one is like today. Like I said, I don't know about the colour. This is in 96. So yeah. It is more of an affordable foundation. How am I taking... Oh, I'm like, why isn't the lid coming off? I haven't actually taken the sticker off the back. And I'm not going to be using a primer for this just because I want to see how this performs without a primer hindering it or getting in the way. It is a little pump on the top, so I'm going to squirt some out onto this little palette in front of me. That looks like it could be a good colour for me. We shall see. I wasn't actually planning to film whatsoever, so I'm not really in the mind frame of knowing what I'm talking about, so that's fun. Okay, I'm just going to start to apply. Okay, that's a bit light. I haven't even zoomed you in. What am I doing? Now that is going on a little bit light, but we will not panic. That could be okay. That could be really okay. I don't usually pick the right shade for me. If you've seen my foundation testing videos before, it's usually quite funny. But actually, this one kind of looks like it could be good. And I do usually like to set down my foundations because I like that matte finish. But we're going to see if this one dries down at all, see what's going on. See what the coverage is like. I haven't even read the claims of this, to be honest. Like I say, it's been sat in my collection for a while and I just thought it was time to stick it on my face. I feel like my lighting is darker in this video. I'm not really going to be able to tell properly until I'm editing this, so if the lighting is a bit off, I do apologise. I was moving my lights around from my usual setup and I don't know if I put them back quite right. I do usually like quite a full coverage base as well, so bear all these things in mind that I've told you about my preferences and my skin type and everything like that for whether you want to pick this up or not. But it's giving coverage, definitely. It seems to have gone on okay. I do have dry patches more toward my forehead and my nose area, so I will have a little close-up look at that in a minute. But I don't think that colour matches too bad. Well, I can't really tell how it's looking on the viewfinder. It looks a little bit light on the viewfinder. Okay, I am looking very pale right now and very one-dimensional. Is there a plane? Just popping on some of my Maybelline concealer as well. And then we can get more of the effect rather than me looking crazy on my under eye. This is what we are looking like. There are still some blemishes peeping through this foundation, so I wouldn't say it was full-on cake face coverage, but it definitely does have good coverage. And I'd say it's looking okay on my skin. It's looking at the moment fairly similar to how my NARS Soft Matte would look. And it's not causing any major issues straight out the gate, which is good. I might apply some cream products whilst we see how this sets down. I am going to use a little bit of my P. Louise 3 Strikes You're Out face palette, bronzer palette that I got in one of my budget boxes, and I've been tending to use the middle shade. And I'm hoping that this foundation does dry down. Like, I don't like a tacky feeling foundation, you know? I want it to dry down a little bit. nobody likes a super sticky face because that's just weird. I will say the bronzer is going on top of this foundation nicely and how I would expect it to. Then I'm going to go into the other little palette that I got in my budget box, which is the Third Time Lucky palette for the cream blush, and I am going to take this shade here and just start applying a little bit of this. Then I'm going to go in with the Arttitude Cosmetics powder, which is in the shade Organza. It's a nice light purple. That's usually what I set my under eye with, and it's got a little net inside. I've been really enjoying that, along with the Arttitude powder puff as well. But before that, let me just actually check what's happening with my base now. That's actually not sticky or tacky or horrible at all. It is reminding me very much of the NARS Soft Matte with how it's dried down, and it is really comfortable for me. I'm not hating it, but I still powder down my NARS Soft Matte. So we'll go in with some of this and just start to set things. Then I go in with the shade Linen, which is that the translucent shade? I can't even remember, but I set the rest of my face with this. I absolutely love this powder. It doesn't accentuate any texture or make you look dry. It just looks airbrushed and beautiful. I'm sorry, what is happening with this clip? Who said that you could stick out like that? Nobody did. Then I'm going to use a little bit of the NYX Buttermelt bronzer in Deserve Butter, which is actually a little bit too dark for me, but we're not going to talk about that. A little bit of P. Louise setting spray. This is the Babe It's Time to Fix Up. I don't know, it's this one. I assume I got it in another budget box. Oh, I can get the lid off. Then I'm going to go into a little bit of my Cosmic Brushes Frosting Highlighter Trio palette, and I think I want to use this shade, which is Golden Apple. It is a little bit golden, it's a little bit green, hence the name Golden Apple. A highlighter brush would be a great idea. Now this is a blinding highlight, so if you don't like blinding, maybe this is not for you. Oh, that's so pretty. I might use a little bit of the middle shade as well, Cinnamon Swirl, which is a little bit more pinky. And maybe a little bit of the W7 Candy Blush in the shade Gossip, because why not? I always feel like blush gets lost on my face by the time I finish my makeup. Is that just me or anybody else? So this is how we're looking when I've got the majority of my base products on, and I have to say it looks a lot more harsh on camera, that cheek. It doesn't look that harsh in person, I promise. But so far the foundation is looking really, really nice. I am so far impressed. So I've just put on a little bit of the P. Louise Tearproof Mascara. I've really been enjoying this one actually recently. It's very long lasting and good wearing, and I kind of like the wand and how it separates my lashes, although my lashes are not the best. Now I want to stick on a lip just to go with this. Yes, I know, I'm not doing eyeshadow today. Who am I? Okay, so that's the P. Louise lip liner in Luscious Love, and then I'm going to go in with my NYX Fat Oil Slick Click in Going Viral, because I still need to use this up some more. I think I've only used it once or twice so far. And there we more or less have just some kind of simple makeup look, but I did just want to test out that foundation. So I'm going to put it under the microscope now. Now I've got all my other base products on top, it's still looking really nice. Now, like I say, I do have dry skin, and you're always going to see maybe some little dry patches here and there, you know, dependent on what type of weather it is and things like that with me. But so far so good, guys. I kind of like it. You'll have to let me know in the comments, have you tried this foundation and what is your skin type and did you like it? I literally just realised I have the new Arttitude Cosmetics highlighters, like literally sat in front of me, and I didn't use them. I feel like I could cry. That will be for another video, maybe when I use the Metamorph palette again. Somebody remind me, like, they were right on my desk. So overall, this is how we're looking, but I am going to take you somewhere where there's natural light so you can actually see how the foundation is sitting on my skin. With foundation reviews, I really don't like how close I have to get to the camera. It's interesting. Now I know I don't often do videos like this on my channel. I'm usually doing a lot more eyeshadow, even if I am testing out a foundation, but today I just felt like doing something a little bit different. I haven't even stuck lashes on, I just used my mascara. It's not often I come across a foundation that I actually really like, especially for my skin and how it's dry and it does have lines. You know, my skin is not perfect, I'm not a teenager anymore, so it's hard to find something that suits me, that lasts well, that looks nice on the skin, that doesn't look too dry or cakey or patchy. So first impressions actually applying this, I'm actually quite impressed and I like it. Now, bear in mind, if you was thinking about trying this and you're hearing me say these things, if you've got oily skin or you live in a humid climate or you've got different type of skin type to me, that type of thing, then you might not enjoy it. And even if you have all the same things as me, you still might not. You might not like the same preferences as me. You might want to be a lot more luminous rather than matte. Now, with this being a Lumi-Matte foundation, that says to me that it is a matte drying down foundation, but it's got a little bit of a luminous glow, and I would say that about it. Especially before I powdered it down, it just felt nice, it was comfortable, it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin, but I am used to wearing my NARS Soft Matte, and I'm excited to try this out some more. Of course, this is just a first impressions, I've got to come back and test it numerous times before I fully make up my mind about it, but what I will do, I'm gonna leave a comment pinned down below so that you can see what the wear is like with this foundation. But a little bit of a spoiler, usually over time my foundation ends up just either looking better or not changing at all. Usually the first impression of me applying it is the point where it could be the worst, if you see what I mean, because I've got dry skin. I don't tend to get drier. There are a few slight oils that come through that then make things a little bit better. So I will leave a comment down below, like I say, if something drastic happens, if there's separation or, you know, it looks really bad at any point, I will let you know in that comment. But I can't imagine, just from all the foundations that I've tried, that this is gonna do anything dramatic. But yeah, first impressions, I kind of like it. Let me know what you guys think. Have you tried it? Are you interested in trying it? And is this a good drugstore alternative to more expensive brands like the NARS Soft Matte? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you could leave a comment down below, if you like the video, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing if this is the kind of content that you enjoy. And I will leave down below my socials as well as my Patreon group and my YouTube membership. And hopefully, guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.